If someone handed you an extra $10,000 today, what would you buy first? A better phone? New clothes? A vacation? That's exactly how I used to think. I believed more money automatically meant a better life. But 6 months after I finally started earning good money, I was staring at my bank account wondering one thing. How am I almost broke again? The scary part wasn't that I wasn't making enough. The scary part was that I was making more than I ever had. That's when I learned a lesson nobody had ever taught me. When money finally comes into your life, the first things you upgrade quietly decide whether you'll become financially free or financially trapped. And I learned that lesson the hard way. For years, I chased one goal: earn more. I worked overtime, picked up freelance jobs, said yes to almost every opportunity. I skipped parties, skipped vacations, skipped weekends. Eventually, the hard work paid off. I got promoted. My side hustle started bringing in consistent income. For the first time, there was money left in my account after paying my bills. It felt unreal. Every payday became exciting. Instead of worrying whether my card would decline, I started thinking about everything I could finally afford. My friends noticed the change immediately. You've been grinding for years. You deserve something nice. Honestly, they weren't wrong. So I rewarded myself. First came a flagship phone, then designer sneakers, a smart watch, weekend getaways, food delivery almost every night. I wasn't buying crazy expensive things, just lots of little upgrades. Each purchase made me feel successful. Each swipe of my card felt like proof that I'd escaped my old life. But something strange started happening. The excitement from every purchase disappeared faster than I expected. The phone that felt amazing on Monday was just another phone by Friday. The expensive sneakers became ordinary after 2 weeks. The excitement never lasted, but the money kept disappearing. Then life reminded me that emergencies don't care how successful you feel. One Tuesday morning, my car refused to start. The repair wasn't catastrophic, just expensive enough to hurt. I opened my banking app and realized something that made my stomach drop. Despite earning more money than ever, I didn't have enough set aside to comfortably pay for it. I could cover it, but it would wipe out almost everything left in my account. I remember sitting there thinking, where did all my money go? That evening, I met an older coworker for coffee. He wasn't rich in the flashy sense. No luxury car, no designer clothes, no expensive watch. But he always looked calm. Bills never seemed to stress him. Unexpected expenses never seemed to shake him. After listening to me complain, he smiled, then asked one question. Did you upgrade your lifestyle? Or did you upgrade your life? I laughed. I don't see the difference. He pointed at my new phone. Nice. Then he pointed at my worried face. Not so nice. Then he said, most people buy things that look expensive. Very few buy things that make life cheaper. That sentence followed me home. The next day, instead of shopping online, I opened my banking app. I looked at every purchase from the last few months. Restaurants, subscriptions, impulse shopping, random online orders. None of them were terrible by themselves. Together, they explained exactly why I still felt broke. So I made my first real upgrade. Not to my wardrobe, not to my car, not to my phone. I upgraded my safety. I opened a separate savings account. Every payday, before buying anything, I transferred money into it. At first it felt painful. Watching money leave my spending account wasn't exciting. Sometimes I wanted to skip it. Sometimes I almost did. Meanwhile, one of my closest friends made a different decision. He bought a luxury watch. He posted pictures online. Everyone loved it. Thousands of likes. Comments saying, "You're winning." A month later, His car broke down. The repair cost almost exactly what he'd spent on the watch. He called me that evening. "Can I borrow some money until next month?" I didn't judge him, because just weeks earlier, that would have been me. Instead, I opened my emergency savings, paid for my own unexpected expense, closed the app, and went to bed without stress. Nobody liked that moment on social media. Nobody applauded it. But for the first time in my adult life, money had solved a problem instead of creating one. That's when I realized something. The best upgrades aren't the ones people notice. They're the ones that quietly protect your future. Once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. I started asking myself a different question. Instead of, "What do I want to buy?" I asked, "What's quietly costing me money every single month?" The next answer surprised me. It wasn't my phone. It wasn't my clothes. It was my lack of knowledge. Every financial mistake I'd made came from simply not knowing better. So instead of buying another gadget, I bought my first personal finance book. Honestly, I expected it to be boring. Instead, one chapter changed how I looked at money forever. It explained the difference between assets and liabilities, between spending and investing, between looking rich and becoming rich. Within weeks, I canceled subscriptions I never used, negotiated a lower insurance payment, started budgeting properly. That single book saved me more money than it cost. Then another hidden weakness appeared. I was constantly tired. I stayed up late scrolling on my phone, dragged myself through work, made careless mistakes, forgot deadlines. I blamed motivation. The real problem was exhaustion. So instead of buying another luxury item, I upgraded my sleep. Earlier nights, a better pillow, a simple bedtime routine. Nothing glamorous. But my energy changed. I became more productive, worked better, thought more clearly, made fewer expensive mistakes. That's when a pattern started to appear. Every boring upgrade quietly made the next one easier. More energy helped me work better. Working better helped me earn more. Saving more reduced stress. Less stress helped me make smarter decisions. It was like watching tiny improvements stack on top of each other. For the first time, money wasn't disappearing. It was starting to stay. But I still had one dangerous habit. One that almost erased all the progress I'd made. And I wouldn't discover it until the biggest financial test of my life arrived. I thought I had finally figured money out. I had an emergency fund. I was learning about personal finance. I had more energy than I'd had in years. For the first time, my bank account was actually growing. I started believing that I had cracked the code. Then life humbled me again. One Friday afternoon, my boss called me into his office. A major client had canceled a contract. The company wasn't shutting down, but everyone's hours were being reduced until business picked back up. Just like that, my monthly income dropped. Not completely. Just enough to make me uncomfortable. A year earlier, that news would have sent me into panic mode. This time, I was worried. But I wasn't desperate. Because the first 3 upgrades had bought me something more valuable than money. They had bought me time. Time to think. Time to make better decisions. Instead of making emotional choices, I made practical ones. That's when I discovered the 4th upgrade. Upgrade number 4. Reliable tools beat fancy toys. I looked around my apartment. There were expensive things I barely touched. But the laptop I used to earn money every day was painfully slow. Every project took longer than it should. Every delay cost me opportunities. Instead of buying another luxury item, I invested in a reliable work laptop. Within weeks, I finished projects faster. I accepted more freelance work. Clients noticed the difference. That one purchase didn't just cost money. It made money. I finally understood the difference. Some purchases drain your wallet. Others increase your earning power. From that day on, I asked myself one question before buying anything. Will this help me earn, or just help me show off? That single question stopped dozens of impulse purchases. Then another weakness became obvious. Upgrade number 5. Your health is a financial asset. During my busiest months, I lived on instant noodles, sugary drinks, and fast food. It was cheap. It was convenient. But I was constantly exhausted. I got sick more often. Missed work. Lost productivity. Saving money on food was quietly costing me income. So I made another boring upgrade. More home-cooked meals. More water. Short walks every evening. Nothing extreme. No expensive diet. No luxury gym membership. Just better habits. Within months, I felt stronger. Worked longer without burning out. Thought more clearly. I realized something most people never connect. Poor health is expensive. Not just in hospital bills, but in missed opportunities. Then came the 6th upgrade. Upgrade number 6. Skills pay forever. One evening, I almost bought a new gaming console. Instead, I signed up for an online course that taught a skill people were willing to pay for. At first, it felt like homework. After work, I'd sit at my desk studying while my friends were relaxing. Some even laughed. "You study even after work?" I smiled. Because I finally understood something. Entertainment makes today enjoyable. Skills make tomorrow easier. 3 months later, that course helped me land freelance clients that paid more than my old side hustle ever had. The course paid for itself many times over. Then I turned to another problem. Upgrade number 7. Kill expensive debt first. I still had a credit card balance. Every month I paid the minimum. Every month interest quietly stole part of my paycheck. It felt normal. Until I actually calculated how much I was losing. The number shocked me. Instead of investing first, I attacked the debt. Month after month. Watching the balance fall felt better than buying anything new. The day I made the final payment, it honestly felt like getting a raise. Because the money that used to disappear into interest now stayed with me. Next came something invisible. Upgrade number 8. Build systems, not willpower. I used to save only if I remembered. Sometimes I forgot. Sometimes I convinced myself I'd save next month. Then I automated everything. Savings transferred automatically. Investments happened automatically. Bills were scheduled automatically. I stopped relying on motivation. My system handled it for me. That one change removed hundreds of bad financial decisions before they could happen. Then I noticed something else. Upgrade number 9. Upgrade your environment. My workspace was a mess. Clutter everywhere. Constant distractions. I spent hours trying to focus. So I cleaned it. Bought a comfortable chair. Added better lighting. Organized everything. The result surprised me. I worked faster. Made fewer mistakes. Finished projects earlier. Sometimes, the biggest upgrade isn't buying more. It's removing what's slowing you down. Then came the final lesson. The one that tied everything together. Upgrade number 10. Buy assets before luxuries. One day, I stood in a store looking at an expensive watch. I could afford it. No debt. No guilt. For a moment, I almost bought it. Then I remembered my mentor's words. Upgrade your life before your lifestyle. I walked out. Instead, I invested the money. It wasn't exciting. Nobody noticed. Months later, that investment had grown. Not dramatically, but enough to remind me that money can either work for you or wait for you to spend it. Then the biggest financial test finally arrived. My car needed a major repair. A family emergency happened during the same month. 2 unexpected expenses. Years earlier, that would have been a disaster. credit cards, stress, borrowing money, sleepless nights. Instead, I paid the bills. My emergency fund handled the surprise. My freelance income filled the gap. No debt. No panic. No desperate decisions. Driving home that evening, I smiled. Not because I was rich, but because I was finally stable. And that's when I realized the biggest upgrade wasn't my savings account, or my laptop, or my skills. It was my mindset. I had stopped asking, "What can this money buy?" and started asking, "What can this money build?" That's the question that changed everything. Because wealth isn't created the day you earn more. It's created the day your money starts solving tomorrow's problems instead of only satisfying today's desires. So if your income increases this year, don't rush to impress strangers. Upgrade the things that quietly protect your future. Those upgrades won't always be exciting. They probably won't get likes on social media. But years from now, you'll be grateful you chose stability over status. Because the people who stay wealthy aren't usually the ones who make the most money. They're the ones who make the smartest upgrades first.